Good evening, welcome back to the Fire Burns Within channel. Two videos I've got for you, two video ideas which I've had. Basically looking at my collection and doing different types of videos. This first video is based around bands which I own 5 albums from their discography in my collection. So obviously they need to have 5 minimum albums or more, obviously, and I will list them here. They will be listed in this video. So basically looking at bands which you really like, for instance, or as a gauge where obviously if you've got 5 albums from a band, it means you must like them a fair bit, or they've been around a long time and you like to complete their stuff. I mean, obviously the list is going to include some big bands, which I'm sure everyone will include if they did a list like this. But in my collection, I've got 31 bands, which I've got 5 or more CDs from, which is, I don't know, it's quite cool. I think some people may have way more than 31, so their videos could be like well long, but we won't talk too much about them. The only thing I will say is the only point of this video is to select one from the 5 or more that you absolutely will keep above all the other ones you have. But it's not that big a deal, but it's just to mention one that, for instance, if someone says you've got to choose one out of however many you've got as the one to keep for a desert island or whatever. Anyway, let's just quickly start with them. These aren't in any particular order. Basically got them in alphabetical order, I think, more or less. But anyway, Alter Bridge is the first band. I've got all 6 albums that they've released. There's not many bands which I've got the full discography, but Alter Bridge I do. The album which I would the album which I would keep as the desert island out of those 6 is Blackbirds, the second album from their career. Very cool album, killer album in fact. Faultless, almost faultless album of modern rock. Great stuff. Next band is Monomath. I've got 6 albums, would you believe, from Monomath. I should have noted down how many albums these bands do have, and so we can say as a percentage, but anyway, it doesn't matter too much. I've got 6 from Monomath, and the album that is going on with me to the desert island is Versus the World, which is quite a while ago now, but I don't know, I think that was the real first Monomath album which I really liked, so that one takes the biscuit. Next is Astral Doors. I've got 5 albums from these guys. They're Swedish melodic metal, classic metal if you like, classic melodic hard rock depending. They've been going quite a while now. I'm a big fan of theirs, hence having 5 CDs. The one that stood out for me as being my favourite from them, from the ones I own, is Evil is Forever. That's just a killer release. Very awesome. Next is Balsagoth. I've got all 6 albums in their discography. Awesome, fun band. The album which I would keep above the others is Battle Magic. That's just a fun album. I mean, if you're a fan of Balsagoth, you know that, you know what style of metal they are, sort of bombastic, epic, blackened, folk, I don't know what you call it, futuristic, battle metal or whatever, stuff like that. Next is Cannibal Corpse. I've got 5 albums from their long career. The one I would keep above all the others is the album Kill, mid-period album with Corpse Grinder on vocals. Yeah, I like Cannibal Corpse. I think they're a pretty cool band. Next is the Almighty Death and Chuck Schuldiner's band, Chuck. I've got 6 albums from Chuck. I'm missing the debut, believe it or not. I don't have Scream Bloody Gore, but the one I would keep above all the others is Symbolic. Symbolic is just godly, absolutely godly. It's just an amazing album. Next one is Dream Evil. I've got 5 albums now. I recently made it to 5, hence it made this list. Swedish melodic power metal, heavy metal, if you like. Very cool band. The one I would keep above all the others is called In the Night. I think that's a really catchy album, but all their albums are so good. So, you know, they're very consistent. Next is Eclipse, also from Sweden, melodic hard rock. I've got 5 albums from them. I think they've got 7 albums in total. The first 2 I don't have, but 5 albums from the awesome Eclipse. Just an awesome band. The one I would keep above all the others is Bleed and Scream. It's the heaviest, catchiest, most melodic, most memorable. Everything is at the top level on Bleed and Scream, as it is on all their albums, but you got to keep one, right? So that's the one. Staying in Sweden, Hammerfall. I've got 5 albums from their long discography. Very cool band. The one I have to keep is Legacy of Kings. It's still my favourite Hammerfall album. Still a killer band, still releasing good music, good power metal. Hammerfall. Next is Firewind. I've got 7 albums from their discography, quite a lot from Firewind. I mean, I think they're a very consistent band. Gus G, Apollo on vocals, different singers now. They've had Henning bass and now Herbie Langens. Very cool band. The one I would keep out of all of those is The Premonition. It's probably their most melodic, I would say. A very catchy album. Well worth hearing if you haven't heard it. And if you like your power metal, very melodic. Next is Iced Earth. I've got 6 albums from Iced Earth's long career. The one I want to keep is Days of Purgatory, which is not really a studio album. It's like a re-record with Matt Barlow. But it's a brilliant re-record, if you like. I know it's not a true studio album, but it's a killer set of Iced Earth music, and has to make it as the Desert Island disc amongst the 6 that I do own. Next is Impellitteri, the Shredmeister from US of A. I've got 8 Impellitteri albums, quite a lot. In fact, most of them I've got. And the one I would keep is Eye of the Hurricane. I think that's an awesome album. It's top level Impellitteri, that one. Next is Iron Maiden. I've got 15 albums. I don't have No Prayer for the Dying, which is, well, one day I'll get it. One day. The one I have to keep is Power Slave. It's my top Iron Maiden album, so not much best to be said about Maiden. A lot of amazing albums, but if you've only got to keep one, then it has to be Power Slave. Next is Jethro Tull. I've got 5 Tull albums. They've got so many albums. I've got 5 of the ones which I enjoy. I have to keep Aqualung. It's one of the best prog rock albums of all time, basically. Just a killer album. Ian Anderson on top form, the band on top form. Melodic, quite heavy as well for them. Very cool album. Next is Judas Priest, a huge discography which I've only got 5 of. I know a lot of people will have way more than that from Priest, but they do make my list. At least I've got 5. And of course the Desert Island amongst them has to be Painkiller. It can't be anything else for me. It just has to be Painkiller. Every song is a big hammer in the face. Just an awesome album. Next is King Diamond. I'm a huge King Diamond fan. I've got 12 King Diamond albums. Literally all of them. Missing a couple maybe. I'm not sure actually. Am I missing some? I don't know. I've literally got all of them. Maybe missing one. But the top one is for me Them. I think Them is an awesome album. It's a flawless King Diamond album. He's got 2 or 3 flawless, but I have to keep one, and Them is the one that does it for me most out of all his discography. Okay, next is Megadeth. I've got 15 Megadeth albums. The only one I don't have is the debut, believe it or not, and I want to get the remastered one, the Final Kill edition. I think that's awesome. But I've got to keep one, and the one to keep is Rust in Peace, of course. It can't be denied. It's a 10 out of 10, flawless thrash metal album. Has to be kept. It's the only one that can go on the desert island with me. Metallica, I've got 7 albums from their discography. Yeah, this was a tough call, but I'm going to take And Justice for All to the desert island with me. I know a lot of people will say Master of Puppets, but I think I just prefer And Justice for All. The power of it, the heaviness. The production is not amazing, as everyone knows, but it's just the way the songs are written, you know. Heavy, ballsy, progressive. It goes to the desert island. Next is Morbid Angel. I've got 6 Morbid Angel albums. Quite a big fan of Morbid Angel. The one I'm taking to the desert island is Blessed Are the Sick, the 2nd album from their discography. Killer band, death metal, Treya Zakthot. Zakthot, it's hard to say his name. Morbid Angel, yeah. Killer band. If you like your death metal, occult, classic, then of course you love Morbid Angel. Napalm Death is up next, and I've got 10 Napalm Death albums. They've had a massive career, and I've got quite a lot of Napalm albums. And the one I'm taking to the island with me is a you know, it's going to be a controversial choice. It's mid-period Napalm Death, Inside the Torn Apart, which is my favourite Napalm Death album. I don't really go in for the ultra grind stuff. I know they've gone back to it a bit now, but they do a mix of it now, a little bit of the mid-period and a little bit of the grind. But the mid-period was all catchy, sort of groovy, heavy death metal, little bit of hardcore mixed in as well. But I love Inside the Torn Apart. It's a killer album. Next is Nocturnal Rites, Sweden's power metal masters. I've got 5 albums from their career, hence making this list. The top album is Tales of Mystery and Imagination. I love that album. I used to play that to death. Killer power metal, early power metal, not early, but mid-90s when power metal was at its lowest ebb, 97-ish. Hammerfall came along, Nocturnal Rites came along. Mainly Hammerfall, of course, but Nocturnal Rites were hanging on their coattails and delivered a great album with Tales of Mystery and Imagination. Okay, Powerwolf is next. I've got 6 albums from Powerwolf. The only one I don't have is the debut. The one I have to keep is the latest album, The Sacrament of Sin. It's a killer album. All their albums are killer. This is a very tough choice, but I'll just keep the latest one. It's awesome, front to back. Next is Primal Fear, long career. I've got 5 albums from them. I love them all. The one I'm keeping is Jaws of Death. It's one of their early ones. I think the second one or third one of the two. It's very tough between Primal Fear, so consistent. I could even choose Metal Commando, which I also have. And there's some Primal Fear albums from the early 2000s which I love, which I haven't got in physical format. But the ones I do have, I have to make a choice. And it's Jaws of Death that's going to win that battle. You know, very heavy, very pounding, classic heavy power metal from the German masters, Primal Fear. Next is Rhapsody of Fire, Rhapsody as they were in the old days. I've got 7 albums from their long career. The one I have to keep is Symphony of Enchanted Lands, their second album, their sort of breakthrough album, if you will. The debut was good, but Symphony of Enchanted Lands put them on the map, you know, for symphonic heavy power metal. Next is Running Wild. I've got 12 albums from Running Wild. Big fan of Running Wild. Got a lot of albums from their career. I love rock and roll. I love a lot of their eras. The album I'm saving, there's 2 albums which I love. It's either Death or Glory or The Rivalry. But I'm just saving Death or Glory for this video, but it could easily be The Rivalry. It could easily be one or two of the others as well. Black Hand In, all awesome, but awesome band Running Wild. I've got a lot of their stuff, 12 albums altogether. Death or Glory for the win on that one. Next is Sabaton. I've got 8 albums from Sabaton, most of their discography, if not all, most I think. The one I'm saving is The Art of War. I love that album. I mean, they're very consistent. I mean, you can, if you like Sabaton, the albums are interchangeable. I mean, you're gonna collect them all because you like the band, and I love the band. I've seen them numerous times, 5, 6, 7 times. I forget, too many times. The Art of War is the one that has to go to the island with me. Few bands to go now. Sabotage. I've got 6 albums from the US classic heavy metal band Sabotage. I have to save Hall of the Mountain King. It's a killer album, front to back, easily their best album for me. I don't really like the late period Sabotage where it's a little bit more progressive. I like the early classic heavy metal Sabotage. Next is Stravarius. I've got 5 albums from their career. Yeah, they've got a lot of albums, but I actually prefer their mid to late period more than anything. I even love the late period without Timo Tolkki, but the one I'm saving is Destiny, and that's from about 1999, 2000, I think, and that one did have Tolkki on it. It's a killer. It was my first Stravarius album, really. It's a killer record if you enjoy symphonic, epic power metal. Okay, next one is the band 10 from the UK, melodic hard rock. I've got 7 albums from 10, believe it or not. Gary Hughes on vocals, melodic hard rock from the UK. The one I'm keeping is the album Babylon. I think it's their most melodic, very catchy, a nice cool concept to the story. Just very cool band, 10. I love Gary Hughes's vocal style, very low, very baritone. Very cool band, 10. Underrated a bit, I think, in my opinion anyway. 2 bands to go. Testament. I have 11 Testament albums. I love Testament. I think they're an awesome band. The one I'm keeping for the desert island is The New Order. It's my favourite Testament album. Every song is a killer on that one. Awesome. The follow-up to the debut. Testament, I've got a lot of albums, 11 all told. Yeah, they've got a couple more as well, but I've got most of them, and they're just a great thrash metal band. Everyone loves Testament and wishes they were in the Big Four, I guess, but Big Four can only have 4 in it, otherwise it would be the Big Five. Let's call it the Big Five and chuck Testament in there as well. Okay, and the last band that I have 5 or more albums from is the mighty Virgin Steel with David DeFay on vocals. I have 10 Virgin Steel albums, very underrated band. I love these guys. I've loved David DeFay's vocals for a long time. First heard Virgin Steel, I don't know, maybe 1996, 7, something like that. Very awesome band. It's fallen away in recent times, and I haven't been buying religiously their stuff, but still got 10 of their albums. I think they're awesome band. The album I have to take to the desert island with me is Invictus. It's just a full maximum 10 out of 10 album for me. It's just epic, very long. It's like almost the full CD's worth of music. It's like 79 minutes and 50 something seconds long. So he's probably thought, David DeFay, he's probably thought, let's fill this CD up to the max, give the fans like the full possible whack on one CD, and that's what he's done. And the thing is, there's no fillers on it. It's just a killer 10 out of 10 record, and a great way to end this video. So there you have it. The final band, 31st band that I own 5 or more albums from, and those were the albums I took to my desert island with me. Okay, hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more.